It's been a long regular season, but we are here and ready to go for the last chance for these drivers in the Nitro National Series to make the postseason to join the field of 12 who will dice it out for a championship over the next 7 races. And what better place to do it than at the Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing, for 40 laps around this high-banked 2.5-mile super speedway. It's going to be a lot of fun. We expect the points positions to change every lap, and we expect it to be an absolute thrill ride for everyone involved. And here to bring the action to you once again is Duke Ansack, as usual. Well, this is it. This is the last chance for everybody to get their points days in, and now there's a lot of drivers hovering around that cut line just waiting for their opportunity.
It certainly is the last chance, and I'll tell you what, every single one of these drivers going into this race knows that today is the last chance to get all those points. There's 53 points up for grabs today in today's race, and there's a bunch of drivers that need points. I mean, it is incredible. We're looking at the standings here going into this race. Logan Williams, Ricky Freeman Jr., Elijah Ironhouse, Diego Yepes, Nicky Martinez, Riley Hooper, all are drivers that are within 10 points of the cut line between 12th and 13th to make the playoffs. One is going to not make it. Keon Daly, Robert Weaver, Rasha Mahendra, James Ellison all have a mathematical chance. It's an outside chance, though, so they're going to be racing, try to be up front, and hope that some people have an issue. But all those other drivers are really going to be fighting today for every single position. It's going to be tooth and nail, clawing to the finish, get every bit that you can. There's points for leading laps. There's points for leading the most laps. There's points for setting the fastest lap. You got to get all of them that you can. Meanwhile, at the top of the grid, we've got Ryan Griffin, who's leading the way by 23 points over Alex Ferjet-Barub. He's got a hand on that regular season crown, but he can't be too careful today. You know, we've seen him win here before, but he can't be too careful because if you get in an accident and you're Ryan Griffin, you might allow Alex Ferjet-Barub, Joshua Michaels, or even Zachary DeLello to come and scoop that away at the last moment. Because they're all within 33 points of the lead. So there's a lot of things to watch today. It's going to be really exciting, and we're going to bring it all to you, but this is just going to be one crazy race of talking about points, talking about drivers, watching some incredible action at Daytona, and it's going to be a good one.
And for one last time in the regular season, we can now bring you the starting lineup for tonight's 40-lap race. Henry Thomas, he's one of the safest drivers that's not locked in yet. He lines up on pole. Elijah Ironhouse, like you said, single-digit points above the cut line for Elijah Ironhouse. He lines up on the outside of the front row. James Ellison and Keon Daly, you said they had outside chances. They line up third and fourth. Cam Stevenson, he's not here for the championship. He rounds out the top 5 ahead of Sam Oskin. But the two title contenders for the regular season championship, Alex Ferjet-Barub and Ryan Griffin, as they usually do, start next to each other. And it might be easier said than done to stay close to each other at Daytona because the positions shuffle a lot. But whoever gets that lap led, whoever gets that fastest lap, whoever gets that one advantage could be a dangerous force in this race.
It's absolutely true. And you're right about Robert Weaver and Keon Daly. James Ellison and Keon Daly. I mean, they are starting in great position here. They need to stay up front to have a real shot at this thing. They need to lead laps. They need to set fast laps, and they need to finish there too. So it's going to be a great race today. I really feel it. It's in the air. The crowd is pumped. All these drivers have been anxious waiting for this one. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome at Daytona. What a better place to finish off our regular season.
So for the last time in this regular season, the 42 cars are lined up on the grid, and we are ready to give you some racing action. This is the 1UP Nitro National Series regular season finale from Daytona, and the green flag is just about to fall on the field once again. With Henry Thomas on the inside, Elijah Ironhouse outside. We're getting ready for the regular season finale at Daytona. The green flag is out, and for the last time in the regular season, we're underway. Fairly even from the first few rows. Looks like Ryan Soper on the 84 is the first one to lag back on that outside groove. He's falling a little ways further back, but he's still hanging into that top 10 as the field starts to slowly get up to speed for turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, and they're pretty even right now, those first two lanes, and everybody seems to be pretty organized. There's a little gap in the outside lane that could turn into some help for them. But something that we see here typically is that inside lane prevail, especially on a night like tonight where you got tons of grip in the track. So that inside lane, it's just the faster way around, and we've got to move. It looks like they're going to try to go 3 wide. Alex Rejeparub is going to be the first one stuck in the middle, but that bottom lane comes down and picks him up. So now the outside lane is left out to dry.
That leaves Samet Ozkin and Ryan Griffin with nowhere to go. They're going to probably drift a little ways to the back. But out of turn 4 for the first time, it is going to be Henry Thomas leading lap 1. That should give him a cushion to where he can race from here on out comfortably, knowing he'll have a fair shot at making the playoffs.
Got some fairly aggressive racing going on in the pack here so far, and it looks like Henry Thomas is going to lose the lead here to Cam Stevenson in the inside lane. So that's a big change of position right there. And now Cam Stevenson is going to go up the track, and there is the car that we saw go to the bottom lane and make that 3 wide move. The Cheetos number 27 is now looking at the lead possibly on the inside lane.
That is John McFadden in that 27. He didn't even qualify for this race back in the spring, and now he's out front at Daytona. What a turnaround for this BTB Motorsports team. And it's still early. We're only on lap 2, but McFadden leads the lap from Stevenson and Devin Fair in the 14 right behind him.
Yeah, plenty of speed on that bottom lane right now. Nobody on the outside so far has been able to keep up with them through the corners. That's really where they excel, because they're all going the same speed, but it's just a shorter distance around the track down there. So right now the inside lane is the place to be, but we see McFadden go to the top lane right there. It's going to allow the 14 of Devin Fair to the bottom, and it looks like he's going to get side by side with them through the corner, and this could be another lead change.
Could we have our third different leader in as many laps here at Daytona? It sure looks that way, with Devin Fair leading the charge off of turn 4. We got 3 wide, several rows deep, but it looks as though it'll be Devin Fair in the EA Toyota Supra leading the way at the line to complete lap number 3.
Yeah, he's not clear yet, but he will be soon as they go down into the corner here. McFadden fights back for now on that outside lane, but it's not going to be enough. There's just not enough momentum up there, not enough organization. You can see about 5 rows back that they actually are still 3 wide. It's Elijah Ironhouse out on the very top, and all that's doing is slowing down the outside lane. It's dragging them back, and it's hurting their momentum overall. So that's part of the reason this inside lane is doing so well. They're really organized. They're able to kind of not be part of that 3 wide weird situation, and now it's really close for the lead. They're almost touching through turns 3 and 4 at Daytona, but Devin Fair is going to stay ahead, execute the block pretty well right there, and he's going to be our first multi-lap leader of the race in the 14 here on lap crossing over into the next lap at the line. But it's a pretty intense racing right there, but that's how it is. It's all on the line right now, and nobody wants to lose.
And he is one of 3 superstar drivers making the dip down to the Nitro National Series this race. The others being Felix Anderson and Jeff Bolton making 1 of 2 starts for his own team this year. But it's Devin Fair out in the lead right now with Yami Suzuki right behind and Joshua Michaels right there. We know how good he is at the super speedways. And here is Logan Williams making a push for 4th on the inside of McFadden. He's got a good shot at it with help from Nathan Meyer in the 77, and behind him Kean Rivers in the 54.
Yeah, and Logan Williams is one of those drivers that needs to have a solid day today. He's only +9 on the cut line going into this race, so every position, every point counts, and we're 3 wide for the lead. Look at that. I mean, going through turns 1 and 2, they are 3 wide. Plenty of room, though, here at Daytona. Logan Williams moves up to the top, and it looks like that 18 car is going to get clear for the lead. Joshua Michaels is, yeah, there he goes. So he blocks up top, and now we have a sole leader. They were 3 wide going into the corner, and Joshua Michaels came out on top all by himself.
Yeah, I'm sure Miles Mashburn is very happy watching this, knowing that this is his driver for 2024, and seeing how good he is on every track type. That proves to be a good hire. But coming out of turn 4, Michaels is focused on getting the win for his current team at Kings Motorsports as they prepare to bow out of the series. And to complete lap number 6, it's Joshua Michaels out in a pretty healthy lead at the moment over the 24 and the 77.
Yeah, and he's right now, so far, he has been the only person who kind of has broken free of everybody, and they're 4 wide for what is 4th place right there, so it's pretty close. pretty intense right now. It looks like it's going to even out into a calm 3 wide here at Daytona. But yeah, that's this racing is great. But Joshua Michaels, he's the first one to kind of stay out there. He's able to control both of those lanes, and he's going to look to try to do this for a while, I think. But we'll just see which lane is able to get a run. We've got 3 solid lanes now, all kind of right up there on the front. So we'll see what happens. Who's able to get the momentum?
Looking a little further back now, and this is not the sight Diego Yepes wants to see in that 04 machine. He is all the way down in 40th position. It's only lap 8, but he needs to get a move on to get up to the front and in a hurry, because as things run right now, he would be knocked out of the playoffs after being in the top 12 all season long up to this point.
Yeah, he came into this race only +2 over the cut line, so Diego Yepes has to get a move on almost a quarter of the way into this race now on lap 8, so yeah, Diego Yepes needs a little bit of help. He's in the right lane to be in, though. I think that if he just hangs out there in the bottom lane, as long as he doesn't lose the draft, he should start to be able to move forward. Meanwhile, Joshua Michaels still is controlling both lanes that are attacking from behind, and one of those drivers is the Diego Yepes' teammate right there. So you know that car has the speed to get up there. So we'll see. But Joshua Michaels doing a great job of defending the lead and staying out front.
And we're looking now at the 77. This is Nathan Meyer. He's the only full-time driver in the series right now that's made all the races that has yet to score a top 10 finish this season. Could this be the day he accomplishes that? We know he's really good at the super speedways. He led so much at Talladega last year. He knows how to get around these places, and right now he's got a push from his teammate Mahendra. Could the Motor Dash teammates be making a go at the lead?
Yeah, there's a chance. I mean, that you might as well work together as you work your way up to the front. That might be the best way to try to pass that Joshua Michaels car right now, who has been pretty strong out front. He hasn't really had any side-by-side challenge yet, so we'll see if these two can work up there and make something happen.
And right behind them, it's Riley Hooper in the 69. He's doing a very nice job. He entered this race 2 points below the cut line. But as of right now, he's far ahead of Nicky Martinez and even further ahead of Diego Yepes. And those are the two drivers he was really chasing tonight. So as of right now, he would be 11th in points and above the cut line. So Riley Hooper is Robbers Racing's best chance to make the playoffs this year. And he's doing a great job. He's pushing his way up into the top 5 right now.
Yeah, it's a great place to be on that bottom lane right now. And things are moving a little slowly as far as getting in that bottom lane and moving up through the pack. But, you know, I think that bottom lane is still the place to be. As we watch this race unfold, you can see that outside lane, they're just stalling each other out up there, out by the wall. So the inside lane moving forward, slowly but surely. And here's Riley Hooper with a chance, and he got the door shut on him. And now the Motor Dash teammates go side by side. They decided working together wasn't working out, so now they're going to try to get the lead on their own accord. But Joshua Michaels probably not going to have anything of it. He's still hanging steady out front, about a car length and a half ahead of everybody.
Yeah, I believe Hooper actually separated those two without their knowledge. So looks as though that 69's got a fast car under him, and for the entire top 10 separated by half a second. This is going to be a really close race at Daytona from the moment till the moment the checkered flag flies. But here comes now the Motor Dash teammates have swapped places. Mahendra now ahead of Meyer, but Riley Hooper is getting a push from Ryan Griffin in the 92. They're making their way to the front now.
Yeah, so keep in mind what happened here. Ryan Griffin is now he's our points leader, and he's sitting there in third place right now. And if you see, a lot of his competition is farther back in the pack, and that's just the danger zone here at Daytona. You don't want to get caught up in an accident, and the best place to hide from an accident is up front. Sometimes you're the start of the accident if you're up front, but it's better to be up there than it is in the back and have nowhere to go. So you look at Alex Regepa-Rube is in a really tough spot right now. He's in the dead center of this whole pack. Meanwhile, Riley Hooper has gotten side by side with the leader. It looks like he's going to lead this lap actually from the bottom lane. And now Joshua Michaels has fallen, and we have a new leader.
And that is huge for his playoff chances. He picks up a bonus point for leading that lap. Yepes and Martinez have not led tonight so far. So Hooper's got got a little bit of an advantage now. He only needs to beat those cars by a few less spots now to make his playoff dreams come true. But we're still very early in this race. We're only on lap 13, and the entire field is still within half a straightaway of each other.
Yeah, not a single car has lost the draft in this one, so everybody still has a chance to get up there and race for a win. Riley Hooper right now is looking really good, and he's going to try to do what Joshua Michaels is just doing, control both those lanes of traffic, not let anybody get up next to him, and lead a bunch of laps. He needs to beat the amount of laps that Joshua Michaels led. And right now, he's at 2, so he's got a little ways to go. He's got to stay up there. But Joshua Michaels is the first person we've seen to really take the fight to the inside lane from the outside lane. He's got a few fast cars, more than a few fast cars right behind him. And critically, they're not too wide right behind him. So he's able to take all of their momentum and move it up to the front and try to turn it into some kind of run.
Yeah, but Hooper sees that, and he comes up to try and cover it off, but then he goes right back to the bottom to try and cover off the 86 of Spletzer. This is exactly what you want to do at Daytona. Manage both lanes at the same time. You don't really want him to be 3 wide behind you, because it's a bit of a tricky situation to manage 3 lanes at once, but if you can get him if you can get, especially a buffer car behind you like he does now with the 86, and now there's only one car he needs to block, so that's a very good thing that Riley Hooper has done to get that car out by himself, so now he can focus on running only one lane instead of all of them.
Yep, so now he just has to stay out there and click laps away. You know, he's got to make sure that nobody's able to get next to him here and slow him down. He just needs to, oh, well, never mind. We've got one low on him now, so they're 2 wide for the lead. Yeah, and it looks like Riley Hooper is on the...
Yeah, Spletzer's got no help, though, on the inside. That could be a downfall for that 86. But Kenneth Grant looks like he's going to try and squeeze down there, help the 86, or make a move all by himself down on the inside. We're going 3 wide for the lead at Daytona.
Wow, Riley Hooper gets that lap, though. We'll see what happens if Riley Hooper... He has the least help right now, but we are 3 by 3 by 3 here at Daytona in the first few rows of this pack right now. This is incredible racing, and Kenneth Grant is going to take the lead, the sole possession of the lead away from everybody with help from Aiden Clare on the bottom lane. So now Kenneth Grant has 3 lanes to try to block, and like you said, that is tricky to do here at Daytona. It is not easy to block 3 lanes safely, and there he goes. He's going to think better of blocking the 00, so they're going to end up 2 wide. But now Riley Hooper is going to have to try to get back down because the outside lane is the slowest around here, and he's going to start falling as that outside lane loses momentum. Aiden Clare not going to lead. Kenneth Grant leads that lap, but Aiden Clare is right there.
Yeah, Kenneth Grant, we shouldn't be surprised he's running well here. He won the series opener in the Nitro National Series. He won that race, the first of the series, but he hasn't won since, and I'm sure he'd love to get back to victory lane at a track like this to prove he's still got what it takes. But he's going to fall back now. The 00 moves up in front of him. Glenn Mixon now in the 19 after a few poor showings lately. He takes the lead with help from new teammate Bronson Minnick, who's making his Nitro National debut in this race.
Yeah, great run on the bottom lane. The 2 teammates working together. You know, that's always going to be helpful, but now the blocking has to begin for our leader, Glenn Mixon. So goes up high, goes back down low, blocking only 2 lanes right now, but Kenneth Grant trying to bring the 3rd into play. Looks like he's not going to be able to now. But yeah, 2 lanes behind the leader, and Glenn Mixon doing a great job weaving back and forth. Nice, safe moves. Front of his teammate, not for long though. There goes the 11 down to the bottom. Bronson Minnick has a great run on the leader, and they're side by side.
What a great race for Bronson Minnick in his first series start. He's made the Truck Series playoffs. He did that last week at Darlington, and he's going for the lead now on the 19 with help from the 66 of Robert Weaver, who's got a slim chance of making the playoffs himself. And he's got help from that 42 of Kaminsky, who last time we saw him, he was spinning like a top down the front stretch at Darlington on his roof. But he started last. He's all the way up to the top 5 now, but it's Minnick who leads his first lap in his Nitro National tenure.
Yeah, and we're closing in on halfway in this race, and I'll tell you what, it feels like it's intensifying. You know, we still got 3 lanes in this one, and people are just furious right now out there on the track. They're racing. They're trying to get to the front. They're trying to get to the bottom lane to make moves, and there we see another move for the lead. We're side by side, now, and Bronson Minnick is stuck on that outside lane. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be. We're just going to have to see what happens, because I feel like it's just a matter of time before somebody slips up a little bit. Everybody's been very clean so far, but it's going to get more intense as we come to the end of the race.
And look who's cracked the top 5. Diego Yepes in the 04 machine. There's still a lot of racing left. We're just about to hit halfway, but he's done what he needs to do. He's gotten up to the top 5. If he can lead a lap, that'd be great, but he just needs to stay up there and stay up front the rest of the way, and he could point his way in.
Yeah, and notice he was able to he just stayed on that bottom lane all the way from the back up to the front, and he's up in second place now. So that's a big moment for him, and they're 4 wide for third place right now, and that is an intense moment. But yeah, Diego Yep has a great run from the bottom lane. He abandons it now that he's in second place.
Now he goes
follow Bronson Minnick.
Yeah, now he goes back to the bottom because he knows that's where the speed is. And you see Aiden Clare back out of that 4 wide situation to go back to. It's double wide with Sam Odoskin, and now it's 3 wide in front of him. But you see Ricky Freeman Jr. making a move towards the front of the field. He's not safe yet. He's going to try and lead a lap to make sure his odds are a little better. But it's Bronson Minnick out front right now, Freeman's teammate, remember. And Diego Yepes just trying for an opportunity to get that lap led. Here he comes to the inside.
There he goes. Yeah, great move from Diego Yepes now in wide open, nobody around. So he's going to be able to use his own momentum to pull up next to Bronson Minnick. But who is going to get the run? Is he going to get the help? No, they're going to put him 3 wide in the middle. So that's a 3 wide move for the lead now by the 91 car on the inside lane.
Yeah, the finish line cars are starting to gang up on Yepes. Freeman realized Minnick wasn't going to be able to keep the lead, so he swooped down to the inside to prevent Yepes from getting a lap led, and it looks like he'll succeed in doing so. Coming into the tri-oval, we're halfway home at Daytona. Ricky Freeman Jr. with the lead.
Yeah, and something else I want to note about Diego Yepes is when we were looking at him in the very back, he had just then gotten to the bottom lane. It took him between 12 and 14 laps, I think, to move up to the front, just racing in that bottom lane with the shuffling and all that. So keep that in mind for people in this race that, you know, you're watching your favorite driver out there and you see that they're on the bottom lane in the back. It takes about 14 laps, maybe a little less, a little more, to get up to the front. So we're coming up on a period of time where we'll be on lap 25. That's 15 to go. So just keep your eye on all those drivers back there. See who's in the bottom lane and see who we might see as a player at the end of this one.
And making a move for the lead in this first Nitro National start of the season, Jeff Bolton in the 97. He takes the lead for the first time tonight on lap 22. We're on lap 23 now. Bolton is trying to get out front, but here comes Nicky Martinez, and this is what Riley Hooper really does not want to see right now.
No, Riley Hooper doesn't want anybody else to get bonus points. Nicky Martinez is one of those drivers that needs those points today. Only 2 above the cut line coming into this race. And feels like everybody was only 2.
Yeah, and that's Keon Daly in her teammate pushing her along. So Daly probably needs more points than anybody here. But he needs to win this race and hope for either his teammate or maybe Hooper or Yepes to have some catastrophic issues tonight.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We haven't seen any accidents at all today. As I say that, they go 4 wide for third with a little bit of contact.
Oh, there's a little more than a little bit of contact between Buck Strickland and Jeff Bolton. They're 4 wide for third place going into turn 1.
Wow, that is tight racing right there. But
and it's
everybody
still 4 wide.
For now. This is incredible.
Yeah, it looks like Freeman backed out. That smart move, but I'm amazed we were able to go 4 wide at Daytona for that long and nobody wrecked.
Yeah, especially while they were rubbing each other's quarter panels right there. That was absolutely incredible. I was just saying though that nobody has had an accident today. That there isn't anybody out of this race. Everybody's part of the pack. So as we see Devin Fair make a move to the bottom lane, we've seen him up front a little bit today already. He's going to maybe lead this lap instead of Nicky Martinez. So there you go. But that's just interesting, you know, because we've got drivers that really need a couple other drivers to have a poor finish, like Keon Daly, Robert Weaver. They need people to have trouble in front of them. And so far, there's been no trouble. But you could finish in dead last without having any trouble at all because everybody is right here in this pack. It's an incredible race so far.
How about the D4 Motorsports cars? They're making their way to the front now. Logan Jones in that 94, his only top 5 of the season came right here in the spring where he finished third, and he's running third now with a push from the 33 of Audrey Anzac, and his teammate Ryan Soper isn't too far behind. He started 10th in this race, drifted to the back, but now you can see him in the middle of the pack on that inside lane, pushing the Cheetos Chevy of John McFadden from earlier.
Yeah, well, speaking of teammates, look, we got 3 Team Duke cars lined up, or at least we did for a moment there.
Yeah, we still do.
Audrey Anzac is leading, Alex Regeparube and Elijah Ironhouse on the bottom lane. That could be a triple trouble for all these people up front, depending on how it works out. So they're going to go to the bottom, though. Audrey Anzac makes the move down there and now goes 3 wide for second place.
Yeah, I think their strategy's got to be divide and conquer. So Alex goes up to the top of the racetrack, trying and disrupt the flow of the other drivers up there, while Elijah Ironhouse swoops in to try and push the 33 towards the front of the field.
Yeah, and Audrey Anzac is not someone who is mathematically eligible to make the playoffs right now, but she still wants to get up there and get a win in the Nitro National Series here. But Elijah Ironhouse is someone who needs to get points today. Only was plus 7 going into this race. I mean, everybody was so close to that cut line, and Elijah Ironhouse needs a good finish, needs to be up front, needs to lead laps in this one to have a real chance at making it in. Was on the better side, being above the cut line going in, but right now needs to capitalize. And Devin Fair, I'll tell you what, since we saw the 18 out there, we haven't seen anybody else really get a big lead and control this race, but right now Devin Fair is doing just that.
And remember what you said earlier about you could finish 42nd and not have any problems? That right now, that's Ryan Griffin in the 92, who's back there in 42nd place. He just passed Will Harrison to move up to 41st, but that is still not a good outcome for that 92 team, especially when the 3 is this close to the front.
Yeah, exactly. Alex Regeparube is somebody that can dethrone the 92 right now in this race, so just keep an eye on that as we come to the close of this thing. We're coming awfully close to 10 to go in this race, and it's really pretty intense. 3 wide all the way back. I'm just shocked that all these drivers have held it together for so long.
Here comes Cam Stevenson to the inside of Devin Fair for the race lead. Devin Fair's got 2 teammates up there to work with, though. Ryan Arnold on the inside lane, Zachary DeLello on the top of the racetrack. They're trying to help the boss try and keep the lead of this race, but I don't know if he might keep it this lap, but I think the 22 is going to have a good chance into turn 1. He's got help from the 10 and the 27.
Yeah, that might be it for Devin Fair. We'll see if he can get back out front, clear out front, but the 22 definitely leading that bottom lane, going to get the momentum through this corner, and then probably start to drive away with a push from the 10. Yeah, definitely right here. So they're still side by side, but that 22 on the bottom is my pick, at least through turns 3 and 4. Unless the 14 gets clear, he won't be able to with a little bit of side draft at the end of the straightaway. Man, this is some intense racing for the lead, for the win. This is when the intensity is really starting to pick up in this race because there's so few laps to go. And now look at that, people looking 3 wide to try to make it to the front of this pack. And really nobody has been able to control the race. We saw it a little bit out of Devin Fair. We saw it a lot out of Joshua Michaels, but he hasn't been able to get back up to the front after he lost the lead. So this is anybody's game. I mean, we haven't seen anybody get out front and really take control of this thing. So, I mean, it feels like it's up for grabs. Anybody can take it.
And this is where you got to pull out all the stops. We're coming to 10 laps to go this time. There's only 10 more chances to make passes in this race and to maybe save your season from utter disaster. As Ryan Arnold makes a move to the inside now on Cam Stevenson, and he's bringing the 27 along with him. That car was fast early on.
Yeah, definitely. We're starting to see some repeat customers here up front. We've seen the 27 up front. We saw Cam Stevenson earlier, and again Devin Fair. We've seen them all be out front and lead laps. They learned. They got their way back up to the front after losing the lead and falling on the outside lane. So now that they've come back, can they capitalize on this moment? Can the 27 get out front and control this race? Can the 10 do it? I'm not sure, but we're going to find out here real quick and see which of these drivers has the car that can go out there and lead in clean air without any draft ahead of them. So it's going to be interesting to find out. I don't think it's either of these two cars in the front, but they are blocking both lanes quite well, and it's come down to a drag race every straightaway between Cam Stevenson and the 10 car.
And for what it's worth, only 4 of the top 10 cars scored at the last lap even have a win in this series as a whole. So we've got some good odds of getting a first-time winner. Could it come out of this Cheetos Camaro? Here comes John McFadden to the inside, 3 wide for the lead with 9 to go.
That was a really good move right there, and he had two or three friends go with him there, and now it's going to be they stalled each other out in the outside lane, and the 27 is going to go straight to the front right now. A perfect opportunity for John McFadden to really control this race, but Cam Stevenson on the outside lane is still fighting with no help, and it's not going to be enough, so the 27 is going to get clear for the lead right now, and he's going to have a perfect opportunity to try to take control of this race with just a few laps to go. We've got 7 to go as we cross the line. So this is going to be his race to lose right now. He's got 3 lanes to block, though.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. He's got that task of trying to block 3 lanes. Now it's down to 2. But and notice that the Team Dayspring cars, they were running nose to tail. They got separated there, Arnold and DeLello. So, and here comes James Ellison to the inside. What did we say about the 31? He has to win this race to have any hope of making it. And right now, he's in prime position to steal this one as we're closing in on the final few laps of this race. 7 to go next time.
Yeah, James Ellison he is the last driver eligible mathematically.
Yeah, he's in a must-win situation here.
Yeah, and he really has given himself an opportunity here. Anything could happen in this race. He needs other drivers to finish in the back, and there are some back there that really would help James Ellison. We don't have live scoring here, but James Ellison has a shot to put himself in a position that he could possibly make it into the playoffs from 50 points behind the cut line going into this race. An incredible recovery it would be.
But look at the lead John McFadden has built. It's almost 2/10 of a second in front of Ellison. We have 7 laps to go, 6.5 laps to go now. Look at the gap he has pulled. He's the only guy we've seen that's managed to do this all night. So these guys you don't want to get too big a lead out there, though, because the rest of the field will eat you up if you manage to lose their draft.
Yeah, I'd be really worried right now of a lane getting single file, and it looks like James Ellison is going to get clear. So a single file lane right now, they're going to have plenty of options to go to the outside, to the inside, whatever they want to do as soon as they catch that 27. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they catch the 27 car of John McFadden out front. But right now, he's holding steady out there, and we'll just see what happens as they catch him, as they gain time, and as they try to make their moves.
And Ellison, he gets pushed up to the middle by Felix Anderson. That could be his chance gone right there. But Felix Anderson, he was running at the back all night. Could he try and steal a win for the Murder Dash Racing team? No, because Jeff Bolton's making a move to the inside to try and take second for himself with a push from Keon Daly and Austin Runkle. We haven't seen the 5 up front all day.
No, Keon Daly has been up front, and we see Logan Williams also lurking on that inside lane. He has been up front today as well. So some of these people are learning. They're coming back up through the field, and we've got just a few laps left in this thing. But John McFadden right now has, through all the chaos, stayed out front, stayed a few car lengths ahead, and right now is looking really untouchable.
How about that for John McFadden? Even if he doesn't win this race. Oh, and look, we got some breaking news. Look at the back of the field. It's Diego Yepes once again. His playoff hopes are hanging on by a thread right now. He's got to get to that inside line and push like crazy if he's going to have any shot at contending for a championship.
Yeah, he needs to be really aggressive to try to get back to the front. Remember earlier, it took him about 14 laps to get up there. He doesn't have that time now. He's only got just a few. And here comes possibly a move for the lead. Keon Daly goes first, though. Going to move for second place. And John McFadden, that's exactly what he wanted to see. Now they're going to stall each other out behind him, and he's going to stay the leader.
And imagine, going back to Diego Yepes, that car won the championship last year. Imagine if it doesn't even make the postseason this year. What a fall from grace. But with 4 laps to go, he's got to hustle, and maybe he can steal one from Nicky Martinez or Riley Hooper. But those guys are both on the inside lane making pushes. Martinez already in the top 10. McFadden, though, this is the most laps we've seen anybody lead consecutively in this race. And now, could we have Jeff Bolton try and make a move? Doesn't look like it. He's going to stay pushing the 27.
Just not close enough right now for Jeff Bolton. You know, he doesn't have any help. This whole field is in the top 5 or 6 really has started to break up. There's no real line that's kind of connected right now, and nobody's able to carry any momentum up to the front. We saw earlier that the lines were really organized and connected, pushing each other, and now everybody is being so aggressive that it's just not happening.
And imagine what this would do for John McFadden's career. Remember, at this point in the spring when he showed up for the season opener, he didn't even make the field. He failed to qualify for that race. And now, through some attrition in the field for the Nitro National Series, it's gotten a little smaller lately. McFadden's been able to make races more consistently. He hasn't even finished in the top 15 yet this year, but he's now only 2 laps away from racing immortality.
Yeah, and this car has looked amazing. As soon as it took the lead the second time in this race, nobody has been able to touch him, and he's had Jeff Bolton right behind him the entirety of the time, really. And the 97 has just got absolutely nothing for him. Now we have Logan Williams in 3rd place, but just no help anywhere right now. So John McFadden looking very good right now, but that doesn't mean he can just lay off. He's got to really push hard and try to defend as much as he can, and Logan Williams goes low, and that's going to stall out 2nd place again, but he's got no help, so he's really not going to be able to make much of a move at all. It's just going to be shorter track distance down there, side by side for 2nd place, and the 27 is going to come to the white flag here, and he's just going to be breezing his way home.
Coming to the white flag this time, John McFadden, who's never had a win in his one-up Nitro National Series career. Now he's 2.5 miles away from a win at the World Center of Racing.
Yeah, this would be an incredible story, but right now he's got the 88 car to deal with. Jeff Bolton has lost 2nd place, and in fact, it's not going to be the 88 car. It'll be the 5 car on the bottom, getting a push from our championship leader, someone trying to lock up that regular season championship, Ryan Griffin, who has found his way all the way back up to the front. Riley Hooper is right there. A lot of aggressive drivers, but they're running out of time. Only a half lap remains.
Martinez and Hooper side by side. That could be for the final playoff spot. We'll keep you updated. But coming from 3 and 4 for the final time, John McFadden has had wretched luck his entire career. Poor performances left, right, and center, but he's put that to rest tonight. John McFadden, out of turn 4 for the final time, is going to get his first career Nitro National Series win, and he does it at Daytona, the greatest track of them all. John McFadden, after so long, gets his first career win in the Nitro National Series. Austin Runkle just barely beat Logan Williams for 2nd, but further back, Riley Hooper and Nicky Martinez finished 6th and 8th. They were 2 points apart going into this race. That means they're now tied at the... But they've both leapfrogged Elijah Ironhouse, who's now tied with Diego Yepes on the cut line. Ironhouse is in, Yepes is out.
Wow, what a finish to this race, and what a race it was. Green flag to checkered flag, no cautions, no incidents, no mistakes from any driver. This was incredible to watch. I mean, and it was a dogfight all the way to the end for the playoffs, for the win. And John McFadden gets it done, and we've got a field of playoff drivers set. And wow, a lot of people are able to breathe for the first time in quite some time in these race cars right now as they come down the pit lane. But yeah, an incredible win for John McFadden. He took control of the race when he took the lead. That was exactly what he needed to do. Nobody had done it yet, and he finally got it done and made it happen all the way to the end. And nobody was able to give him a challenge. So great on that car, great on that team for preparing such a bullet in clean air. I mean, that thing really was untouchable.
And those were John McFadden's first laps led of the season, so he put them to good use for sure. So, but like you said, we've now got our playoff field set, 12 drivers ready to go at it for over the next 7 races to contest the 1-Up Nitro National Series title. It's been a great thrill bringing you this regular season so far, and we hope the playoffs are going to be just as exciting. So, we'll see you again next week at Bristol Motor Speedway to get the playoffs underway. From Dugansek and from myself as well, we say so long from the World Center of Racing, John McFadden, possibly the upset of the season right there. he puts his demons to rest, and at long last gets his first Nitro National Series win under the lights at the World Center of Racing.